Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 64 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. And I cannot wait for you to hear my interview with the sweet Riley Noble of OU Pom. But before we get there, let's thank my sponsors and get into the Sooner headlines of the week. Thank you to my sponsor, Marvin's Place, a fine art gallery and listening room located in the Depot District in Ardmore, Oklahoma. Experience amazing artwork, and on Friday nights, visit the Listening Room, an intimate and unplugged venue. They host singer and songwriters on Friday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Relax with a glass of wine or craft beer and enjoy some wonderful music. You can find out more, including links to all of their social media, their music calendar, and all of their artwork and jewelry available at the gallery on their website at marvinsplace.gallery. Also, thank you to Therapy to Go in Ardmore, the funnest place in town to drive through for a drink, and you don't even have to get out of your car. They have a large variety of spirits as well as fountain drinks and snacks, and you can find them on Facebook and Instagram at Therapy to Go Ardmore. Quick update on a notable injury going forward for OU men's basketball as they prepare to head to Vegas to play in the Crown. Dayton Forsyth will miss the trip to Vegas because he had ankle surgery last Wednesday. It was successful. But unfortunately, he will not be able to travel with the Sooners. He did battle ankle injuries throughout the season, but he was a very important piece on the team for our late season run. So it is unfortunate that Dayton will have to miss this tournament. However, the best timing for the big picture as we go forward, as we will need him in the fall as practices and preseason starts up. So best of luck to Dayton. I hope that you heal up quickly and don't have any issues. We wish you all the best. Okay, where I will be this week, you can find me at the baseball game versus Bama this coming Thursday, April the 2nd. I will be at softball versus Kentucky on Friday, April the 3rd. And I will also be at men's tennis Saturday, April the 4th at noon. That is senior day for our guys. I will be there to support my guy, Bruno. I can't wait. So if you are going to be at any of those events this coming weekend, I hope that you give me a shout. Come say hello. I would love to meet you. Also want to give a quick thank you and shout out to my friend, men's gymnastics head coach, Mark Williams, who gave me a tour of the newly renovated gymnastics facilities this past Friday. While I was there, I also had a Nadia Comaneci sighting, which was a major fangirl moment for me. I did post a lot of photos from this adventure on my social media, so I hope that you will go and give them a look. But I was so honored that Coach invited me to take a quick tour of the facilities. It is absolutely gorgeous, long overdue, much needed for our gymnasts who continue, both men and women, to sit at the top of the nation with their programs. And I got to sit in on some practice. There's a upstairs area, like an observation deck. I was able to watch the men's and women's practice and warm up, do inter-squad meets, and prepare for their postseason. It was just a really, really cool experience. So thank you again, Coach Mark, for the tour and for showing me around. I really, truly enjoyed it. Okay, for our Sooner headlines of the week, spring practice has begun for our football team, and I saw pads and I saw helmets, and it really made this girl happy. I will tell you that. There's been a lot of updates on positions and players that haven't been seen because of injuries that they're still nursing and things like that. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details regarding the spring practice as of yet. There's nothing extremely too notable at this point, but it was cool to see Jason Witten get a first look at him on the field doing his coaching duties. Get to talk to some of our special teams coach, Doug Deacon, to hear him talk about his goals going forward and getting more punt returns this coming season. Also, Owen Heineke was spotted at practice, not participating, of course, but he was spotted at practice this past week as well. So it's just really cool to see our guys on the field again, making progress, getting things going for our team, and it just makes me excited for the fall. Our men's basketball, again, they are preparing for the Vegas Cup as this episode drops on Wednesday, April the 1st. They will already be in Vegas. They play Wednesday night, the 1st at 7 p.m. Central versus Colorado in the quarterfinals of the Vegas Cup. Semis will be on Saturday, the 4th, and the championship game will be on Sunday, the 5th. If OU wins, that will be the progression of their schedule. The prize for winning this tournament is $500,000 in NIL money, which would be massively huge for our program. So be sure and tune in to our Sooners as they compete in Vegas this coming weekend. I did want to point out, as they released their travel roster for the games, no Andreas Holst, no Jeff Nwanko, and of course no Dayton Forsyth, as I mentioned just briefly a few moments ago in my injury report. But we have a great travel roster making the trip out to Vegas. Shout out to our women's basketball team for making it to the Sweet 16 in Sacramento this past weekend. The seniors, Reagan Beers, Peyton Verhulst, and Beatrice Culleton just truly made an impact not only on the court, but off the court as well, on the program, for the fans. They will not be quickly forgotten for sure. Unfortunately, we did suffer that loss to South Carolina in the Sweet 16, 68-94 on Saturday. But there were some notes that were made in the OU Daily, and I just want to read this directly from the OU Daily. It was very well presented. On Reagan Beers, the all-SEC center, finished Saturday with 14 points, 8 rebounds, led the Sooners in rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage. She also ranked second in scoring behind freshman Aliyah Chavez. Over her OU career, Beers tapped 1,000 points, 600 rebounds, while finishing her 4-year career with more than 2,000 points and 1,200 rebounds. On to senior Peyton Verhulst. Over her 5-year career, she recorded more than 1,400 points, 600 rebounds, 300 assists, including more than 1,000 points in her 3 seasons in Norman. She was a key part of OU's success over the last 3 seasons, helping OU reach 3 NCAA tournaments and post a 76-26 record during that span, including 5 wins in March Madness. Of the 3 seniors, Beatrice Culleton spent most time in Norman, playing all 4 of her collegiate seasons under Coach Jenny Baranchek and reaching the NCAA tournament every year of her career. She recorded a rebound and a steal in the last 2 minutes of the game against South Carolina and finished her career with more than 300 points, 300 rebounds, and 100 assists. And again, I cannot say enough good about each of these girls. Now, I don't personally know Reagan Beers, but she has quickly become a fan favorite, as has her family. Her dad, now her brother Rocky, is a football player for us, a tight end transfer from Colorado State. The Beers family isn't leaving Norman for sure, and these girls truly made an impact on the program. And again, I don't personally know Reagan, but I do know Beatrice and Peyton. They are sweet, sweet girls that have become friends of mine. I've enjoyed getting to know them and talking with them over the season. I had them on the podcast earlier last fall and winter, if you want to go check those out. And those sweet girls came to celebrate me and what I'm doing with my podcast at my 1-year celebration in February. So I've obviously quickly gotten very attached to these girls. They will be very missed in Norman, on the court, at OU, but we wish them nothing but best going forward wherever their careers and their roads may take them. I know Beatrice is pre-med, I believe, so she'll be probably sticking around and preparing for med school and things. But just thank you, Peyton, Beatrice, and Reagan, for all of your contributions to our sport. It truly means the world to us, and Sooner fans, we love you and we will miss you. Shout out to some award winners with our women's gymnastics team, as KJ Kindler was named SEC Coach of the Year, Mackenzie Estep Freshman of the Year, and our all freshman team, Ella Murphy and Mackenzie Estep. We also had several named to the all SEC team with Kira Wells, Addison Fata, Elle Miller, Mackenzie Estep, Faith Torres, Lizzie Blessy, Camilla Pollock, and Ella Murphy. Also, it was just announced our regular season All-Americans were Ella Murphy, Faith Torres, Addison Fata, Kira Wells, Mackenzie Estep, and Elle Miller. Next up for our girls, they had this past weekend off as they're preparing for the postseason. They are heading to Lexington, Kentucky for the Lexington Regional for NCAA's April 2nd through the 5th. We will be joined there by Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Ohio State, NC State, Maryland, Central Michigan, and Rutgers. And the ones that come out of that regional will then head on to the rest of the postseason. Our men's gymnastics also had a few award conference winners, as Taz Haju was named the MPSF Conference Specialist of the Week, and Nathan Roman the MPSF Conference Freshman of the Week last week. Freshman phenoms Nathan Roman and Sasha Boganosiuk have now been named the National Rookie of the Week twice, and Colby Aranda once. That's 5 of 11 weekly honors earned by Sooner freshmen, so shout out to them. And also, for regular season All-American recognition by the CGA, we had 8 Sooner gymnasts recognized, with Kelton Christensen, Ignacio Knockers, Fuzzy Bennis, Sasha Boganosiuk, Nathan Roman, Brendan Zapata Orth, and Colby Aranda. Also, for the MPSF Gymnastics Annual Awards, the Freshman of the Year went to Sasha Boganosiuk. Sasha is the third straight Sooner to be named Freshman of the Year for the conference. And shout out to Coach of the Year for the MPSF conference, Coach Mark Williams. He has now won the award for the third straight season and 17th time in his 27 seasons at OU. So again, shout out to our men's gymnastics. I truly think they are underrated as far as not getting the recognition that they deserve. They consistently rank number 1, number 2 in the nation, top 5 in just about every event, and they consistently finish in the top 3 every season. You can follow them this postseason as they head to Berkeley, California for the MPSF Championships this coming weekend, April 4th, and then the NCAA qualifiers and the Natty will be on April 17th and 18th. Our baseball team has had a little bit of a rough week as we fell to number 11 in the polls that just came out this week. Texas series in Austin was not pretty. Unfortunately, we did get swept by the Longhorns. A quick rundown of each game. Game 1 in Austin, as it was the Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So this Thursday game, 14-0 run roll. Scoreless for only the second time this season. Struggled to find consistency. On the mound, we used 6 or 7 different pitchers that game. Just quite the struggle for us. Game 2 on Friday, they walked it off 3-4 in the bottom of the 10th to clinch that series win against us. Again, going to extra innings on Game 3 on Saturday with another 4-5 walk-off in 10 innings by Texas. First Texas sweep of OU since 2014. Unfortunately, again, walked off for the second straight day in the bottom of the 10th. A very, very hurtful sweep for us for a lot of reasons, obviously. The last 2 games were there for the taking for us. Unfortunately, we're just unable to close the deal. Next up for our baseball team is Tuesday night, March the 31st against ORU in Tulsa. So as this episode drops, this will have been the previous night. So check social media for updates on that score. But our baseball team is hosting Alabama in Norman this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I will be there Thursday night. I would love to see you there. Softball, number 3 in Softball America poll this week. We've been sitting at a number 5, 6 spot in most of the polls the last couple of weeks. But there were quite a few notable losses this past week. Texas did suffer another loss as well. Florida suffered a loss, Tennessee. So we're seeing a couple of these other top 5 teams take some losses, which is somewhat a band-aid to our little Sooner hearts, as we did suffer 1 loss in Baton Rouge this past weekend. However, we did clinch the series. So very thankful for that. But that Friday night game at LSU, Coach Gasso became just the 3rd head coach in NCAA history to reach 1,600 victories. Also 200 hits in 200 games for Abby Dayton. And we had a nice clutch win, 3-2 in extra innings. Abby Dayton had 3 home runs. Game-winning sac fly. Audrey Lowry was solid in the circle. Ali Gacino got the win in relief. Kendall Wells, 2-run hit in the 7th. Elena Ogbayani, big time in the 7th inning. And LSU's CC Solera in the circle held OU to no walks and no home runs that entire game. She was incredible. That Saturday game is when we suffered our loss, 1-3. Our first conference loss, 22-game winning streak snapped. LSU beat Oklahoma to even that series and set up that Sunday rubber match. Jaden Heavner only allowed 2 hits for LSU in the circle and only 1 unearned run in a complete game. Kylie Edwards' 4th inning 2-run home run was the game difference for them. Kai Miner was the only won with 2 hits for OU and scored a run. But that set up the rubber match game on Sunday, game 3. Kendall Wells hits home run number 26. Our team total is now up to 133 in that 8-4 win over LSU in that rubber match on Sunday. We hit 4 homers. Molly Gacchino rung up 11 strikeouts in that complete game as she took the series from LSU in that win. The first 4 pitches of the game really set the tone. Minor hit a 2-0 leadoff double, and then Kendall Wells homers on the next pitch. Just truly incredible. Those girls respond to loss. And as the Kinsey Hansen video pops back up from the World Series a couple of years ago, the Sooners play their best after they've gotten kicked in the teeth, and nothing proves to be more true than that. But again, shout out to Molly Gacchino. Complete game, 11 Ks and 146 pitches. Kendall Wells, 2-run home run. Isabella Emmerling also had a 3-run home run, and Ella Parker, Gabby Garcia had solo home runs as well. I want to give a quick rundown. This is from Seth Oliveras on Twitter. The 2026 softball by the numbers through week 8. We're 34-3, 8-1 in conference play. 7-2 versus top 25 teams. 25 run rolls, 442 runs scored, 95 runs allowed, 133 home runs, 440 hits, which is a 4.426 average, 208 walks, 8 shutouts, 15 errors, 2.74 team REA, and 187 Ks through 212 innings pitched. I also want to do a little rewind on last Monday night's game in the SIP as we closed out the Ole Miss series and clinched that sweep. In case you missed it, we played the Saturday, Sunday, Monday series last weekend against Ole Miss. And so when I recorded last week's episode, I didn't get to give a recap on game 3 of that. So just a quick rundown. It was our 10th comeback win of the season as we were down at the beginning of that game, but came back and won 5-2. Great outing by Sid Burzon. 4 innings pitched for her, no earned runs, and she retired the last 7. Audrey Lowry came in at the end of that game to have back-to-back Ks in the 6th after bases loaded. Isabella Emmerling came off the bench for her first pitch grand slam, and that was the difference in that game at the SIP as we took game 3 from Ole Miss to sweep them last Monday night. Also want to give a shout out to SEC Player of the Week last week, Bella Emmerling, and Pitcher of the Week, Audrey Lowry. Also, cannot let this go by without pointing out that the most amazing news of the whole weekend was the return of our pitching coach and assistant head coach, Jen Rocha. She is back. Patty Gasso was asked about her return, and this is what she said. It's going to be her story to tell. She's going to go on the road and change lives just by telling her story. Coach Gasso also mentioned that Carly Keeney has been hired full-time and will be coaching in the bullpen during the games. So that's just the most amazing news. First of all, that Coach Rocha is back. She did put out a video on the OU softball social media, if you want to go check it out, talking about her cervical cancer diagnosis. It was a rare form of cancer, but she is now cancer-free and back with the team, and she could not be more excited to be back. And also, again, on that great news, Carly Keeney, she's still going to be around. She stepped in when she was most needed by OU and did an excellent job for the first 2 months of the season. And I'm so glad to know that she will still be around the program and in the bullpen to help our pitchers this season. So great news all around for our softball program. And next up for our softball team, they will play Tuesday night, Wichita State's in Norman at Love's. Welcome back home to them. So as this episode drops on Wednesday, this will have been the night before on Tuesday the 31st. But they do play at home this weekend versus Kentucky. I will be there on Friday evening, so I hope to see you there. Quick reminder, our soccer team has their spring schedule out. You have several more opportunities to catch them in Norman for free this spring. And also, if you are a DFW Sooner, you have a couple of chances to catch them in April as well in the DFW area. So be sure and check their social media or Soonersports.com to get that schedule and get out and support our soccer girls. And Allie Lassanoli that I had on the pod just last week. Our volleyball team released their 2026 spring schedule, as they have a couple of opportunities for you to see them in Norman. However, one of them is today, as I'm recording this, Monday the 30th. They are playing tonight at home, but they will be playing again at home on Friday the 24th against OBU in Norman at 6 o'clock. So free admission to McCaslin Fieldhouse. Get out and support our volleyball girls. Also, another big piece of volleyball news, the inaugural SEC Big Ten Challenge is coming to Norman to McCaslin Fieldhouse on September 2nd through the 4th. Ole Miss, Washington, and Ohio State will be coming to Norman to join them for that inaugural event. And Oklahoma is slated to play Ohio State on Thursday, September the 3rd, and Washington on Friday, September the 4th. Times to be announced at a later date. But if you are a volleyball fan, mark your calendars. You won't want to miss this inaugural event. I am planning to attend one of those days for sure. I had volleyball player Sydney Thompson on back in the winter, and I am going to have her connect me with another volleyball player that I will have on later this summer to talk about this awesome event we have coming up and the new season that starts in September. So go check out that conversation with Sydney and stay tuned later this summer for more information. Shout out to our women's tennis program who had a fantastic weekend, 2 great home wins. Friday, they had a 4-1 win over South Carolina, and Sunday, they had a huge win, 4-1 over number 1 Georgia. Incredible win. Shout out to the girls for that. I was there on Friday evening for that win over South Carolina. Julia Garcia-Ruiz notched her 93rd career doubles victory, tying for second in program history. Oklahoma's 11th shutout of the season and extended its longest win streak in 2 years. Julia Garcia-Ruiz, I had her on the podcast just a couple of weeks ago. Go back and check that one out if you missed it. And again, shout out to our girls for just a phenomenal weekend at home. They hit the road this coming week. They head to Vandy on April 2nd and Mizzou on April the 4th. They will be back home for 2 games on April the 9th, which is a Thursday, and Saturday the 11th. And then they will be hosting the SEC Championships on April 15th through the 19th. Our men's tennis, shout out to Johan Rodriguez, make that 2 SEC Freshman of the Week honors for him. They had a 4-0 win at Georgia on Friday and a 4-3 win at Florida on Sunday. So shout out to them for 2 great road wins for our guys tennis. Next up for them, again, Saturday the 4th, this coming Saturday, home at noon for Senior Day. And I will be there to see our guy Bruno, so come join me. And then they will be on the road to Arkansas and Texas A&M, followed up by the SEC Championships. Okay, quick rundown of our track and field long distance crew who headed out to the Raleigh Relays this past weekend. Men's 500 meter, Evans Bawat ran a personal best, finished 6th in the field of over 200 runners, and moved up to number 4 in OU history. The men's 10,000 meter, Ronald Nagech clocked a personal best to place 6th place and good for number 2 in OU history. Shadrach Kiptu ran to move into number 9 in OU history. A women's 3,000 meter steeplechase silver medal, shout out to sophomore Leah Gerudo as she again finished 2nd place in that and is currently the number 2 time in the NCAA. The women's 10,000 meter freshman phenom Domtilo Cherudo in her outdoor debut clocked to set a brand new school record, the 3rd of her freshman campaign already. Next up for our track and field crew, they are heading to the Battle on the Bayou in Baton Rouge, Louisiana this coming weekend, April 3rd through the 4th. Our rowing girls, number 24 in the rankings, they had some great weekend results. 3 race wins and 8 top 3 finishes on Saturday at the Ohio State Spring Regatta on the Griggs Reservoir. And next up for them is the Orlando Invitational on April 17th and 18th. And I want to give a quick plug for the open house that our rowing team is hosting on Friday, April the 10th, Saturday, April the 11th. On Friday, April the 10th, if you're in the Norman area, you can come check out their facilities. They're just south of the Lloyd Noble Center on April the 10th. I'm planning to attend that. You can get a tour of their facilities that day. And then on Saturday, April the 11th, and that morning, you can get a tour of their boathouse and check out their waterfront amenities there on the river in Oklahoma City. So if you're interested in that, be sure and check out the OU Rowing social media. Our golfing girls are holding at a number 24 ranking, and they had the weekend off this past weekend, and they're getting ready to head to the Veritex Bank Challenge in DFW this coming weekend, April the 6th. For our men, Ryder Cohen finished tied for first to lead number 14 Oklahoma to a 7th place finish last weekend at the Valspar Collegiate Invitational. And next up for our guys is the Merido Intercollegiate at the Merido Golf Club in Carrollton, Texas. 2-day 54-hole event is today, March the 30th, as I'm recording, and Tuesday the 31st. So I don't have an update on that, but I will update you next week and check their social media for updates in the meantime. Also, want to give another quick plug for our club sports. There are many of them: lacrosse, men's volleyball. Just recorded with one of our hockey players, Nate Monticelli. I will be dropping his episode here in the next month or so. They had a great season. Also, I mentioned last weekend our women's flag football club is in the works and doing a fundraiser. You can get a shirt. You can find out more of their information on their Instagram. But we have so many club sports, just so many different ways to support our athletes at all kinds of levels. So I hope that you will go check out social media and give all of those clubs a follow. I share as much as I can on my Facebook and Instagram stories. I am at Sooner Girl Pod on all platforms, and I always share stuff regarding these programs as I come across it. Okay, for our Sooner MVP of the week, I'm giving a shout out again to our track and field runners for their school records: Ronald Netich, Evans Boat, Shadrach Kiptu, Jamtilo Cherudo, and silver medal winner Leah Gerudo. Shout out to those amazing athletes for representing our university well this past weekend. Okay, to end the segment of the show with the Sooner Fun Fact of the Week. Todd Butler is a former OU baseball player who returned to Norman in 2023 as an assistant coach. And when he returned to the program, he still owned the single season stolen base record that he set in 1988. So once again, thank you so much for pressing play today. I hope that you will share this episode with a friend. Go follow me on social media if you don't already. Again, I'm at Sooner Girl Pod on every platform. If you need merch, I have so many shirts, hoodies, koozies, hats, tank tops, stickers, you name it. You can check it all out. Soonergirl.bigcartel.com. You can go and follow and subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Substack, YouTube, and Spotify. You can subscribe for free to my newsletter called The Playbook. The March edition was sent to your inbox and on Substack this past weekend. You can sign up for free if you're interested, or go check it out on my Substack. Ladies, you're going to want to join the huddle in my locker room. We have monthly online huddles. You get a merch discount. We have a chat, a text group, private Instagram feed. I do giveaways, all kinds of stuff. You don't want to miss out on that, ladies, for only $5 a month. Also, I have advertising opportunities and sponsorships available if you are interested. I can work with any budget for any time frame. So shoot me an email at soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com or shoot me a message on social media. Again, I'm at Sooner Girl Pod on all platforms. My link tree is my link in bio on all of those platforms, and everything I just mentioned is linked there. So I hope that you will go and give it a look. Now on to my fantastic interview with the amazing Riley Noble of OU Pom. And I did record this over Christmas break with her. As you can imagine, these student athletes have the most rigorous schedules. And so I try to record with them and catch up with them whenever I get an opportunity. So sometimes I have set on a recording if it's not something that's time sensitive. I may have sat on it for a couple of months, but I recorded a ton of interviews over the winter break for our kids. As you can imagine, them having maybe a little bit of downtime, no classes at least, allowed for them to have that. So this was recorded right during Christmas break. We talked about them going to nationals, which actually occurred on January the 16th. So you will hear us talking about them preparing for that as well. I was able to meet up with Riley at a basketball game earlier in the season as well. Posted a photo with her on social media, and I'll be sharing that this week as well. So thank you again to Riley Noble for joining me for this episode. She is again a member of the Pom Squad at OU. She's majoring in health and exercise science on the pre-PA track. She gets to live out her dream every day of cheering for the best university in the nation. She has been a Sooner fan her entire life. She is Sooner born and Sooner bred. I've known Riley for pretty much her entire life, known her family pretty much all of my life. I've watched her grow up. And so to see her truly living out that dream is a really cool thing to see. We talk about her favorite Sooner memories, one of those being the playoff game against Alabama. I never experienced anything like that atmosphere. We talk some about that on the episode as well. So go give Riley a follow on Instagram and TikTok. I will link those in the show note. And on social media, I'll be tagging her throughout the week. So I hope you guys enjoy my interview with sweet Riley Noble, and I will see you next Wednesday where we talk sports. I know you're super busy, but I'm so glad that we finally got to connect and talk about all the fun stuff. So you've been up to so much.
Yes.
I'm sure it's been a whirlwind for you.
Yes.
just with everything. So I want to get to the OU stuff, obviously, but I do want you to talk a little bit about how you even got started doing dance in the first place. I mean, I know it's something that's fairly common with little girls, but you stuck with it and have gone so far and accomplished so much even through high school. And so talk a little bit about that and just what developed your love for dance.
Well, I started dancing when I was 3 at Shannon Kreitz in Ardmore.
Mm-hmm.
I tried other sports, hated it. My mom tried everything because, my mom did sports too.
Yes.
But she put me in everything, hated everything, but dance I did like. So I stuck with it. I started competitively dancing when I was 8.
Wow.
And I just loved it. Once I really started competitively dancing, that's when I was okay. This is what I want to do. I love this. Yeah. And then, what grade was I in? I think it was 4th or 5th grade. I joined this dance company's their traveling company. Mm-hmm. And so I did that from 4th grade all the way to my senior year in high school.
Okay.
That was what really made me fall in love with dance, because I got to travel everywhere and assist this company. And I definitely say it's called LA Dance Magic, but it definitely took my dancing to the next level. And then I think around my freshman year, I started going to OU Pom clinics. I can't remember what kind of got me into them. I think the first time I kind of went with a friend, and I was like, okay, this is cool, because freshman year was when I started the pom team.
Right.
And so that's when I kind of was like, okay, I think I really like pom. This is something that I think I want to do. And I've always just wanted to go to OU. My mom literally made me apply to another school just because. I'm going to OU. That's where I want to go.
That was me too, so I get it.
That's where I want to go. There's no other choice.
Yes.
And so freshman year is when I started going to clinics, and my coach actually is from Ada, and she danced at my studio for I think all throughout high school is when she danced. Kind of knew my studio and who I trained with and all of that stuff. And she actually was pom captain, so was one of my dance teachers, Lauren Stortz.
Oh yes, okay.
Yes, so she was captains with her and on the pom team with her. So that kind of had a little connection there. And so I started going to more clinics, and I tried other clinics and stuff, but I was like, oh, this isn't really.
Yeah.
So probably about sophomore year is when I started getting really serious about dancing or being on the pom team at OU. This is where I want to go.
Yes.
There's no other choice. It was in my brain. I was like, I am making this team. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And this is what I want to do. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, I know, I'm sure there's so many girls that try out for that. And if I remember correctly, it's a few day ordeal.
Oh, yes.
Of trying out. I can't imagine your nerves because.
No, it was crazy. There were some girls that were being recruited and some not. So we had to do, the first round was video submission. So they gave us a list of things that we had to do. Yeah. So I had to video all these things and send it in, and that was the first round. So it took maybe a week or so for them to go through those. So I was every day I was just waiting.
Oh my gosh.
Am I going to make it to in person? Am I going to make it? And so finally I got the email. I remember I was in the 7 Brew drive-thru. And I got the email, and I called my mom. I was freaking out. And Emily, I was like, oh my gosh, I made it to the final tryouts, whatever.
That's awesome.
Such a crazy feeling. And so after that, we had a couple weeks, and it was the last weekend in April. Mm-hmm. Went up to Norman. It was a 2-day trial in Norman.
Okay.
So the first day was just kind of technique and getting to know us. We had an interview too. So she interviewed us, asked us questions, all sorts of stuff. And then the second day was a long day. It was 9 to 5.
Wow.
A long day, of just dancing and doing all the things. And then afterwards, she let us go. And she's like, okay, we'll email the results in an hour. And I was like, okay, I have to wait.
Wow.
Well, she didn't email the results until 3 hours later.
Oh my gosh.
freaking out. I was like,
Yes.
OMG, like, what is
Yes.
happening? I was like, it must be a super hard decision. Like, I was literally freaking out. Like, I was like, we have to get out of here. So we were just like driving around everywhere. I was like trying to calm myself down. And then she emailed us, and it was just like our number that we had on. And I saw my number, and I just like broke down in tears. Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It was like just such a weird feeling.
I bet so. I bet so. I remember seeing your mom post about you trying out, and I think you were just in like a OU Pom t-shirt in front
Yes.
of something. I don't remember. And I was like, oh my gosh, when does she find out if she made it? And you already had found out at that point. So she told me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool because I knew a girl that was a cheerleader. Well, she's my age. So 25 years ago. So, but anyway, I haven't known anyone since then. And so I was so excited for you. It's just so cool
Yes.
to have that hometown connection. Of
Oh,
course, I know
yes.
your family and everything. And I was so excited for you. I've watched you for years. I always say I'm like the old lady that like watches people's kids grow up. And in your case, I mean, I've seen you, but you didn't really know me.
No, yeah.
And I'm like the lady that knows all these kids that
There's all these
watched them
kids.
grow
Yeah.
up. It's so funny, but I know you now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm so excited for you, and I was just so excited when your mom had posted that you made it because
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, I can't imagine. I mean, obviously I went to OU, but I'm not an athlete, and
Yeah.
so I just can't imagine what it's like to wear that uniform.
Like the first time so we went to camp in the summer in
Uh
July.
huh.
We went to Alabama, and I remember the first time I put on that uniform, it was so weird.
I bet so.
I'm finally wearing this uniform that I've literally dreamed about since I was so young. It was
So cool.
such a like crazy feeling. This is real. Like I'm in this,
Yeah.
but I've been looking forward to like it's real. Yeah.
That's so crazy. Well, I was looking at the pictures that you sent me, and of course, there were several of you from back when you were little wearing OU stuff or with the mascot or in your cheer stuff growing up. So it's definitely obvious that that was a dream of yours. And I'm just so excited you're living out your dream. Like,
So
what more could you want in life than to live out your dream?
nothing else.
So yeah. I know you're only about 6 months or so into actually being a part of Pom, but a lot has happened in 6 months.
Crazy.
Yeah, and football's the biggest season for you guys, I'm sure. I mean, I know you have a lot of stuff in the spring as well, but football's huge. And so I can't imagine, what was it like when you first at the stadium, your first game to cheer at with all the people?
I started crying. It was during pregame, and like pregame's pregame's just my favorite part of game. Like, it's just so amazing. Like the stadium's full, like everyone's yelling.
Yes.
And I remember like during Oklahoma, and it was the national anthem that got me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I was just like standing there, and I was like just taking it all in. I was like, wow, like this is like real life. Because I remember like going to past football games, just like watching them. Like I just want that so bad.
Yes.
That's what I want to do. And so me actually being down there, just looking at all the fans and the energy, because Sooner energy will amazing. And I was just like, I just want to cry right now because I was like, it's literally a dream come true. And I was
absolutely, I love it. Well, I got my first experience on the field during a game day at the Auburn game. I was with Chauvin. Yeah, that was awesome. And yeah, so Chauvin invited me and a friend to come and join with the band. And it was so much fun. And of course, being on the sidelines, and I'd been on the sidelines before for pregame, but that's a little different. And I like to get up to my seat before everything starts. So I wasn't even down there doing all the good stuff. But I was with Chauvin. And like you said, the national anthem, all the things.
And the crowd is just so good too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Energy, literally
so much.
So being around them is like amazing.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, you're exactly right. There's just so much energy, and being up in the stands, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, but being down there on the field, of course, no one was looking at me. No one cares about me. I was just some random person on the sideline. But for you, like you're part of it, the pageantry and the whole thing, and I just can't imagine how cool that feels.
Like weird because we go to like Boomer Bash and Walk a Champion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When we're walking around, it's just so crazy how many people come up to you, like especially like, little girls and stuff. Like, can we please take a picture with you? And I'm like, I was literally that little girl once.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so crazy to me how I'm one of those girls now because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just crazy to me. It's so
Yeah.
awesome.
I love that. And that's one of my favorite things that so many people mention to me is how they used to be that little girl that looked up to whoever, whether it was an athlete or a cheerleader or band member, whatever. And it's so cool that you get to live out that dream. And now the role has flipped, and you're that person that all the little girls want to take a picture with, and that's so cool.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like how much that means to them that you're taking the
Yeah.
time for the photo,
Just like,
to say,
when I was younger, like that was like a celebrity to me.
oh my
Like
gosh, yes,
a celebrity, and like OMG, like taking a picture with a prom girl or
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. So you're living out a dream of your own, but you're making little girls' dreams come true also, which you've been there, and so that has to feel really special for
Yeah,
sure. I just love
yeah,
that. I
for
love
sure.
that.
And it's like just awesome being able to do it for OU.
Yes. Oh,
Because being like a
absolutely.
lifelong fan is like completely like different because it's just like I literally grew up going to these games.
Yes.
I grew up
Yes.
being around this school, so like
Yes.
that is also such a different like aspect for me. Just
For
than like
sure.
like a random school that like I decided last minute or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I grew up knowing and loving nothing but OU.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't imagine going anywhere else. And if I were an athlete of some sort, I would have rather walked on at OU and just taken it all in as opposed to going somewhere else and playing. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and that's what I told myself too. I was like, I know during the whole tryout process and everything, I was like, this is hard. This is a hard
Yeah.
dance team to get onto, especially
Mhm.
from Ardmore. Like, I was like, this is going to be a lot of work. Like, I know
Yeah.
how much work it's going to be, but like, I literally told myself, I was like, I'm going to do anything I possibly can.
Yes.
There was like no other place I wanted to go. I was like, I would rather just like, even if I don't make it, like I know I want to go to OU
Mm-hmm.
and I want to go to school. So I was like, I told myself, I said, I'm going to do everything possible. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
then it did. So
I'm so glad it did. It definitely did. Okay, so I know you have a lot of memories, of course, firsts this football season, and I want to talk about the CFP game, obviously, because you mentioned how amazing that was. I know how amazing it was for me, so I can't even imagine for you. But let's rewind a little bit and talk about the season kind of as a whole before we get to the CFP.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite home game this season that you felt like the crowd was just maybe super crazy, more so than any other home game, if there is one that sticks out to you like that?
besides the
CFP, yes.
CFP,
Regular season.
and I would probably either have to say Michigan or Auburn.
Okay, yeah.
Was so much fun just because, Jackson Arnold.
Yes, yes.
And like, I just remember like our defense, like anytime they would tackle him or we got the safety on him, like it was like everyone just went crazy. Like, and I felt bad for him kind of because I was like, oh, this.
I know, same.
But like, it was so much fun. And I remember Michigan was a night game, I think.
I think it was. I think that was the only night game we had all season other than the
night
CFP.
Games were so much fun. Just because, like the fireworks and the sparklers and everything that goes on. Like I just always feel like the energy at night games is like a lot more like crazy. And so that one was a really fun one too. But I would definitely have to say Auburn was.
Okay, yeah.
That was really fun for me.
That was a good one. I was on the sideline for that game. I did go up to my seat during the game because I just get way too involved. I got to have all my stuff. But it was a really cool experience to be down there. And like you said about Jackson Arnold, I like the kid. Like I wish him well. I really do. I really want him to go and find somewhere and thrive and do well. And fingers crossed that still happens for him. But speaking of Michigan and just night games in general, they're my favorite as well because of all the things that you said. And I had back in the spring, I had on Caitlin Fournier. She does.
Yes, I know.
Do you know Caitlin?
Technically, my coach is like boss, kind of.
Okay, yes.
And engagement.
Okay, yes. I was gonna say I actually think I remember her posting a photo with you on an airplane. Now that we're talking about it, I love Caitlin. She is awesome, and she is like, I mean, she does softball, gymnastics, football, and so she was telling me all the stuff behind the scenes, and I even talked to her after the CFP game because I was like, girl, you really knocked it out of the park on that one.
She did.
But
such a good job. Like,
she
wow.
really did. And I know there's a whole team that helps coordinate all the things, but you know, the flyovers and the videos and all the things that we just show up and they're there.
Yes.
And you don't think about who does it and how it happens and all that. And she was telling me about working out the timing and practicing the light show and all the things, even for softball. I'm just taking into account all of these things like, oh, when does it get dark?
Yes.
You
No,
know, and all that. And it really was cool talking to her.
like, can we have a flyover? It's going to be
Yes.
windy. Like, so
Yes.
much stuff. Yeah.
So many things. And then I can't imagine, like, for example, the CFP game, there was, I think, a parachuter that was supposed to come in at the beginning of the game and it got canceled because it was so windy. So that happens.
It does.
It's just a lot going on. So, but anyway, I love Caitlin. She's incredible. Yes. Okay, so one more thing before we get to the CFP. I was going to ask you about OU Texas because I mean, I'm sure you've been before, obviously, as a fan, but oh my gosh, I can't imagine being on that field in that stadium because there's nothing like it.
I actually wasn't. So freshman cheer OU Texas.
Oh my gosh, really?
I know.
Well,
so
that's a bummer.
Got to be a fan this
Okay.
I know. It was so
I
was excited because I was like, okay,
well, yeah.
Watch the game because I had it all season. I was like, I actually get to watch the game and be like part of it. But they got to perform for like the first time ever at OU Texas, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to perform down there. I know. So
okay, well, next year is your time.
Next year is my time. We'll come back and then I can talk about OU Texas.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. Well, so I know you've probably been even before this past year, obviously, as a fan.
Yes.
So, but like you said, going this year and you're on the Pom squad, but you're just getting to observe. I mean, I'm sure, like you said, it has like a different feel to it, just knowing you're a part of everything. Yes. So, well, that is a bummer, and sorry if I brought that up. No. But your time's coming, so we'll have to talk about it later. But I can't imagine that stadium just being on the field because
even the girls talking about it, they're like, it's just such a crazy feeling. You're just surrounded by so many people, and the energy is just like so crazy, many. And it's just like they just say it's just such like a surreal feeling. It's
I imagine. Fun. I imagine.
You're just down there cheering your heart out, you know?
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I'm excited for you to get to experience that.
Yes.
And okay, so CFP game. I don't want to move past that because I know you've got a lot to talk about with that for sure. Yes. And that, like I said, for me, that game was up there as one of the best, unfortunate ending, of course, but best game I've ever been to, hands down, in my life, and I've been to a lot. So, tell me what it was like to be just a part of that day.
Sure. So, we actually had practice that morning because we had been in national season, because nationals is January 16th. So,
we're
in football season in the middle of national season, so like everything was, like crazy everywhere. So we had practice that morning, and then we had like a little break. Well, we had to get to the stadium 3 hours before kickoff. So we got there at like 3:30 ish, and so we got to the stadium. You know, everyone's like so excited. We put on our little stickers, went down and did a run through on the field and for our dance, you know, and then we go to Walk of Champions, and like, I mean, the amount of people that were just at Walk of Champions,
it was crazy.
Like, so many people, and I was like, this is like already so crazy. So we were walking through Walk of Champions. That was awesome. They had the flyover.
Yes.
Even the football players and the flyover happened, they were all looking up, and like, you could tell they were just like,
that's so cool.
This is awesome, you know?
I love that.
And just like, even the energy there was crazy.
Yes.
And then we go to Boom Bash. Boom Bash is so fun, you know, the band comes, and it's just like awesome. We get to, you know, practice like our pregame, kind of, it's like our pregame practice. And then we get back to the stadium, you know, fix ourselves up, get ready. Well, we walk down, and like, just like when you walk in the gates, the stadium's already packed. Normally, the stadium doesn't get packed until right before kickoff.
Right, yeah.
Like 30 minutes before kickoff even happened, the stadium is packed. And I'm just like, wow. I remember sitting there, I was like, wow, this is like crazy.
Yep.
And so, we're just talking, taking pictures, and then the laser show happens. So we go back, they're like, you can't stand on the field. So we're like, okay. So we go against the wall, and, this laser show starts happening, and like music's playing, and I'm just like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I remember I was just like, wow, this is awesome. Because, they've never done anything like that before.
Yeah, crazy.
And then, pregame happens. I want to cry again because I'm like, this is my last time doing pregame this year.
I know, I can't imagine.
And then we get to the tunnel, and they play like the cool videos, and then the guys run out, and it's just like the energy is so awesome, and everyone's like screaming and yelling.
Yes.
And then we go to our little corner, and kickoff happens, and it's just like the game starts, and everyone's crazy, and the football players are just so energetic, and you can tell they're ready to go. And it was just so awesome.
It really was. It's funny, like you said, the stadium filling up so early because normally I like to go in when the gates open. I like to be in my seat and do all the things and watch everything.
Yes.
But normally it's fairly last minute before even the people around me get there. And I would say at least an hour or so before the game, it was basically full.
Yeah, no.
And that's unheard of.
Everyone was like, we're here, like, we're ready to go. Like, everyone was so excited, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
It was awesome. I will say my favorite things of the day were the flyover, of course, with the Walk of Champion. That was really cool. And Toby Rowland sticking his head out of the press box to do the ending of the scene setter.
That was so good.
That was really cool.
He's sticking his head out.
Yes, I know. That was so crazy. And I love Toby Rowland. I actually had him on the podcast this past summer.
Oh my God.
He is awesome. Like, he is the nicest human that you've ever met. Of course, I think he's the best radio guy ever, but I know we're a little biased. But he is really
the best at everything.
I know, exactly. But he is just the nicest human. And so, I had him on, and it was so fun to talk to him. And I messaged him after, because I took a picture of him from my seat. And I tagged him in it, and I messaged him, and I'm like, dude, that literally made my whole night. I mean, I know it seemed maybe insignificant to him, just, hey, I'm doing whatever. But I thought it was super cool. And then, of course, 50 Cent coming out, because I had heard rumors that was happening. And I thought, okay, he either has to run out with the team or do between the third and fourth quarter. That's the only way this is to be done. And so, of course, he did the latter. And
I mean, I was really like 5 feet away from him.
Oh my God.
Crazy situations. So college football playoff rules, we're not allowed to have our full team on the field. We could only have 24, and we have 26.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know, it's so weird. So every quarter, 2 freshmen had to sit out. So my quarter was the third quarter, and my friend Mia and I, we go in the tunnel because we had to use the restroom or whatever. And then this guy comes in there, and he's like, you guys got to get out of here. Like, you either need to go in this corner, or you need to go out to the field. And we're like, well, we can't go out to the field because we're not allowed. So I was like, if we stay back here, will we be able to get back on the field? He's like, probably not. So we were like, okay, this is weird.
Okay.
So we go out to the field, and then third quarter's over. Everyone starts going over to the tunnel. Camera's over there, and we're like, what is going on? And then 50 Cent walks out, and we're like, oh my gosh. We were literally just in there. Like, if we would have stayed in there, like, we probably would have gotten to meet him. Like,
that's insane.
Crazy. And so, he comes out of the tunnel, and we're like right in that corner right there.
Yeah.
Like, literally 5 feet from us, and we're just watching. We're like, oh my gosh, 50 Cent is literally right there.
That's insane.
Yeah, so crazy.
Still can't believe that happened. And apparently somebody in the athletic department knew somebody that went to school with him or something. And that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah.
But I heard Toby, we always listen to the post game on the radio driving home. And I heard Toby telling a story about how he actually didn't get to Norman, 50 Cent. He didn't land in Norman until after the game started.
Oh.
And so I guess he had a pretty tight schedule, who knows what he's doing. So he gets to Norman, they get him to the stadium, and he sits up in Coach Venable's office for, during the game, however long. And there was one guy, and I don't remember his name, but some guy who was like put in charge to like babysit 50 Cent. Isn't that crazy? And so then they're like, he had to like tell him, okay, this is what you're doing, and you're going to walk out here, and here's this microphone, and then do a mic drop, this whole thing. And so I was like, can you imagine being the guy that's like put in charge of
50 Cent? Like, hey.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
last night. Wow.
It's just a crazy story. But the whole thing really was crazy, and just how it all worked out. But it was incredible. And it did provide a spark for our football team, a small one, I suppose. But nonetheless, it was nice while it lasted. But
Yes.
yeah,
One of the best like memories I will probably ever have. Like
oh,
such
for
a
sure.
it was amazing. It was awesome.
For sure. I can imagine for you being down there because I felt like it was so loud in that stadium.
The loudest like game I've ever been to in my entire life.
I
We
can
would make like
imagine.
the easiest tackle or just do something like that's
Yeah.
like good, but like not like a crazy catch or something. And
Right.
the whole stadium would be like, rah, like crazy. Like I was like, this
Yeah.
is like amazing. Like so
Even
cool.
the people around me, because we sat around the same people, for years.
Yes.
And so even the people around us that normally aren't as vocal or loud, like everybody was hollering, everybody was cheering, jumping up and down, the whole thing, it was like a circus. So yeah, it was next level for sure. But I will never forget so many memories from that day. So I can only imagine how many you have.
Yes, so crazy.
I feel like it took me a couple days to recover from that game
Yeah. Oh, me
mentally.
too.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically, I was like, wow,
Yes.
that was the best game, but also the most tiring game of my entire life.
Yes.
Like
Oh
I
yeah.
remember I got home and I was like, I just have to go to bed. I was like,
Yeah.
I just gotta go to bed. But I was also still on like a high too, so I was like
Yes.
laying in bed and I was like so sad.
Yes, I know.
So sad. But then I was like, you know what, that was like the best game. So I was like still kind of on a high from the game and I
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
so crazy. But
And I'm sure that you guys had thought and daydreamed a little bit ahead,
oh,
hoping to make it to Pasadena, obviously, for New Year's Eve.
well, we
And
did. We did because so we had our Christmas break planned and our national
yeah,
travel schedule, but then we were like, well, now what if we make it to the Rose Bowl and so forth?
yeah,
We have to rearrange our schedule because our girls need to fly out there or
yes.
take this many days. So like we had to rearrange all of our stuff too.
Wow.
So I was very sad because
Yes, yes. So
it affected us a lot too.
yeah, for sure. Especially with you guys having nationals coming up. And
Mhm.
I think about all the logistics of everything, that has to work out. Even thinking about the CFP game, and it was supposed to be the last day of finals. So they had to move all the things. And then what if it impacted graduation? And like, it was just, it could have been a lot crazier than it was, I'm sure. But yeah, just so much going on. So much going on.
Yes.
Which I guess it was a good problem to have considering the situation.
Exactly. We could have those problems with that. Yeah, for sure.
I really wish that you guys would have had to rearrange and go to Pasadena because I know I had joked with you about, well, I hope that our plan to try to record over the holiday keeps getting pushed back because that just means you've got more to do and it would have been fun. But anyway, maybe next year.
Maybe next. I think next year it will be our year. I think next year will be all year. Just because, like, I mean, we already went from what was it? We were 7-6 or what? Something last year.
Yep.
And then we went 10-3. Like, just so much improvement in literally a year.
Agree.
So crazy. And it's our second, third year in the SEC.
We just finished our second. So yeah.
Crazy.
And nobody thought that we would be sitting at 10-2, technically 10-3 after the CFP game, but nobody thought we were going to be sitting at that with that schedule at the end of the season. So did you get to travel to Tennessee and Alabama? Okay.
I only got to travel to Temple, which was very
okay.
minute.
Yeah.
And because normally it's seniors get
yes.
And then juniors and sophomores and so on. But normally freshmen don't get to travel at all. So minute, this sponsor from I guess a Sooner fan in Philadelphia or something was, hey, we want to pay for your guys's for cheer and pom and mascots to come to Philadelphia.
That's so cool. I love that
event that we're having, and we would love to, get you guys here to come perform at it and all this.
Yeah,
like we would love to. So then, because we texted us some of the freshmen and she was like, well, this happened. This is who's going. Get ready. I was like, okay.
Not going to turn that down.
No, not going to turn that down. And that's actually when I got close to Caitlin because she was our sister for that trip. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I think that may have been when I saw your photo with her. Yeah. I remember her posting and I was like, hey, I know her. Well, kind of. Okay, so next year you should get to not only perform at OU Texas,
Yes.
but hopefully get to travel. And we go. I'm trying to think where all we go to Michigan. We go to Ole Miss. There's going to be some great opportunities for you to hit the road next year. So I'm sure you're excited about that for sure.
Yes.
Two more things I was going to ask you about, but I wanted to ask you about nationals and then also just kind of what you guys do in the spring with basketball and things like that. So we can touch on nationals first. So that's coming up pretty soon. So what all does that entail?
Okay, so we start nationals in July.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We started very early. So we have our, choreographers come in and they kind of start teaching us in July. Very like first draft, like kind of we're just gonna see if this kind of works, see if this fits them. Like, let's just see how it goes, type of things.
Okay.
We learn it in July, and then we kind of just sit on it. Like we practice it kind of a little bit, but mostly we're focusing on football.
Yeah.
We only have 3 days a week we practice. So
wow.
So those 3 days we're focused on what is right in front of us.
We're at hand, yeah.
Because this is what our season is right now. So we'll do that. And then I think we've had them come twice now. So our choreographers come back for 2 weekends this year. And we have 3 long practice days. That they work with us in formations, do all the things, And so those weekends are pretty crazy. Because we're just there all day learning. Whatever, because we have no time during the week, We try to find a bye weekend or an away game or something that will work out. So they come then, but we also we do jazz and then we also do game day and game day is with co-ed cheer, all-girl cheer, mascots. I think that's it. But all those people. So we also have to find times that everyone else is scheduled.
Oh my God.
For our game day choreographer to come in and teach us.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And could you imagine, our spirit program is the biggest spirit program in the nation. So, yes, so it's actually really cool because
that is cool.
She comes in, she's teaching the pom part, the cheer part, the mascot part. So it's so much fun, obviously.
Wow.
But, it can be a lot. It's crazy.
Yes.
So, we just try and find times where we can practice a lot and do all this stuff. Now we are in full nationals mode.
Wow.
So it's a lot, but it's also just really fun because nationals is the one thing that's our thing, because during the year, our main job is cheer on the other athletes and cheer on all the other sports. When it comes to nationals, it's just a really special time for us because it's our first time where we get to do it for us,
It's you. Yeah.
So it seems like a lot, but at the same time, we love it because we're really excited for it,
For sure.
Last year, we got 7th at nationals.
Okay.
It was amazing. The best we've ever done. So this year, we're just excited.
Cool.
Really hard. So we're just we're going to do this. We're going to put everything out there,
That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you guys do even better this year, obviously.
Yes,
but that is so cool to hear. Yeah, fingers crossed for sure. Okay, well, basketball. I was going to ask you about basketball because I know there's always some cheerleaders there and all of that. Yes. So how does that work? Do you guys you just do certain games, I guess, like yourself?
So we do every single home game. We have 3 groups that we split into. The group, Sooner group, and Oklahoma group. So every other game, so this game will be Boomer, this game will be Sooner, this group will be Oklahoma.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Every game, because there's a basketball game twice a week.
Sometimes. There's a lot.
It's crazy, and our schedules, just can't allow that sometimes. So
for sure,
we split it into 3 groups, and we do every women's game and every men's game.
Wow.
So so it's super fun, and we get to perform at some of them we don't.
Yeah.
It kind of depends, but then we'll travel all postseason games too. So March Madness,
the SEC tournament,
the SEC championship,
awesome.
We travel to all of those.
That's cool. Okay.
Those ones are really exciting, really fun.
That will be very exciting. I really have a lot of high hopes for the girls, and how cool it would be to go really
to host it. So
yes.
Yeah, we'll get to host it if they do good.
Yes, that's the best part about the women. There's a lot more opportunity, of course, to host those
Yes.
postseason games. Oh, it's so exciting. So, yay. Okay, well, fingers crossed that lasts a really long time so that you can be a big part of that for sure. Okay, I have asked all the things that were in my brain. So, is there anything else you want to talk about or share?
I think so. I think we talked about everything.
I think we did. I know you're a busy gal and there's so much going on, but it's just so exciting. And I'm
It's
just so happy for you living out your Sooner
amazing.
dream.
Yes,
It
amazing.
true
So
it
much.
truly makes me happy for you.